This is Chris, the Idaho Painter, here on Paint Life TV. Today, I've got a cool video. I'm going to be dealing with mold. I've never talked about mold or mildew, but I'm remodeling a bathroom, I'm painting another bathroom, and I'm doing a skim coat and a decorative coating in another bathroom, 3 bathrooms in this home. One of the bathrooms had some mold and mildew in it, some very light spots on the ceiling that I was concerned about. So I've got a product from Zinsser, a mold killing primer. So this video is going to be how I go about dealing with mold or mildew in a bathroom and mold remediation. So if you want to know how I kill mold, stay tuned for this video. All right, here I am in a bathroom and I'm going to be doing a project. I'm going to be remodeling one bathroom. I'm going to be painting another bathroom, and I'm going to be skim coating another bathroom and adding a metallic finish in this house. I'm going to be working on 3 bathrooms. And one of the bathrooms had some dark spots on the ceiling that looked like mold or mildew. I'm not an expert when it comes to mold or mildew, but it did concern me. So I did some research and I found a product that I'm going to be using to kill or eliminate or inhibit the growth of mold or mildew. Now, step number 1, when it comes to mold or mildew, you need to find the source, what's causing it. And what I've found out in my research is moisture or water is something that actually aids or helps in the growth of mold or mildew. And bathrooms and basements are one of those places that I've seen mold or mildew a lot in my career. Not necessarily a lot, but I've actually run into it a handful of times. And I don't want to just paint over that. I want to resolve the issue before I deal with the painting process. Now, in bathrooms, typically you have showers and people take hot showers, which causes a lot of moisture. Most bathrooms that I've ever been in, there's some that don't, or some that don't have functioning fans. There's a fan on the other side of this wall right here, and that is what draws out the moisture while you're creating a lot of moisture with a hot shower. What actually happens is you're creating moisture that's in the air. It condensates on the wall, so you get moisture on your walls. Now, your walls are a great place for bacteria, moss, mold, or mildew, or odor-causing bacteria to grow. The longer that moisture stays on there, the more or the better it's going to aid in that growth of mold or mildew. So anywhere that you have moisture, locker rooms, shower rooms, basements, there's all kinds of refrigerated areas, places where you wash dishes, kitchens, bath rooms, stuff like that. So those places are going to aid in the growth of mold or mildew. So you want to make sure you eliminate the moisture problem. If you have a fan, you want to make sure that fan eliminates enough of the moisture to keep it dry. Or you want to tell your client that you're working in their home, when you're taking a shower, start running the fan before you run the shower, and then allow that fan to run after you're done taking a shower for enough time where it gets the moisture out of the room that you're actually in. Now, I know a lot of places I've lived in, been around coastal climates and done painting in coastal climates where it's hot, humid, and there is always moisture in the air. And that's where using products that inhibit the growth of mold or mildew are going to help you or kill the growth of mold or mildew before you start painting. So once again, what you want to do is find that source. Sometimes the source is controllable, utilizing a fan or ventilation. If you don't have a fan, get a fan installed. It's never too late to install a fan. I had a fan installed in my cabin after the cabin was already built, and you can do it. You just got to get a plumber to come out and deal with it. Sometimes the source is not controllable if you live in a hot and humid climate, and that's where you got to just have ventilation or something that keeps your air dry. But if it's non-controllable, that's where it's extremely important to paint with products that are going to inhibit the growth of mildew. All right, on to step number 2 when it comes to the remediation of mold, mildew, moss, odor-causing bacteria in a bathroom or areas where you don't have good ventilation or where you have a problem with that. And that is actually cleaning the area and eliminating what's actually there. One of the great things about this product that I recently discovered from Zinsser is you can paint right over surface mold, mildew, moss, or odor-causing bacteria, and it's actually going to kill it, and then it's going to inhibit the growth after you've actually applied it. So it's very convenient to use. But if you have more than just light surface mold that you can see with your eye, if you got any type of like mold that's got fuzz, or it's got built up on your surface, you're going to need to remove that. And so you're going to need to get out some scrub brushes, some rags, and some cleaning materials, and clean and get rid of that before you do any priming and then painting. And I suggest using like a bleach solution, like 50% water, 50% bleach, after you do the cleaning and scrubbing, to spray that area so it will kill anything that's actually on there, so you won't get any growth from what's on there now. So do a proper cleaning. Now, once again, one of the great things about this, if it has nothing surface built up, where there's any built up, you can just literally take this brush, roll, spray right over the top of it, and it's going to kill it. So the Zinsser product, it makes the painting process very simple and very easy to do if you have light surface mold, mildew, moss, or odor causing bacteria. So we're on to step number 3 when it comes to mold remediation, and that is choosing the right product. So I've recently discovered a product from Zinsser, and this is a mold killing or a mold blocking primer, and this is going to make the process simple and easy to do. This is going to kill the mold, and it's going to inhibit mold growth in the future. So what you don't want to do is, if you have mold or mildew, you don't want to just kill what's there. You want to use a product that's going to inhibit the growth for future problems. So you got to get rid of what's causing the problem, but you want to put something on that's going to inhibit future problems also. If you don't prime properly, don't clean properly, if you just put a top coat on, there is a great likelihood you're going to have mold, mildew growth in the future. This product is very simple, easy to do. You can paint right over the top of existing mold, and it dries in 30 minutes. To the touch. You can top coat it in an hour. There is one thing about the product you do need to read the instructions on, and that is you need to top coat it within 72 hours. So there's probably something inside this that is actually killing the mold, mildew, moss, fungi growth, or odor causing bacteria that you need to top coat it to seal it in so it works properly. So pay attention to the instructions, read the instructions closely. So one of the things, top coat it within 72 hours. You also can use it on a multitude of surfaces, but it does say you can't use it on porous surfaces. I'm not sure why that is, but don't use it on porous surfaces. It can be used interior and exterior use. It comes in spray cans and it comes in gallons. I'm going to be using it here on these 3 bathrooms. I'm going to be rolling some walls, and then I'm also going to be using it in a spray can to touch up just some areas where there's a few spots of mold or mildew. But if you're concerned in this bathroom about mold or mildew growth in an entire bathroom, you're going to want to prime the entire bathroom with this product. It's a great product, simple and easy to use, from Zinsser. So I am a big believer in using primers, but I'm also a big believer in using primers only where necessary. So, there's a lot of paint stores you're going to enter in, and they're going to try to sell you on just priming everything. You don't need to prime everything. If you don't have an adhesion issue, if you don't have bare drywall, if you don't have bare wood, if you don't have mold or mildew, there's probably no reason to prime. But when there is a reason to prime, you really do need to prime. So prime when necessary. And if you see any type of mold or mildew, this is going to be a great time for a primer, and not just putting like a top coat that may be a mold inhibited or mold killing top coat. You're definitely going to want to prime first. Now you can add mildewcides to your paint in your top coats, but I still highly recommend using a primer to kill any mold or mildew first, and using a primer that's underneath your top coat that's going to be a killer or inhibitor of mold or mildew. So prime, but prime where necessary, because if you're just priming anything and everything, you might be spending a lot of extra time and money where not necessary. So I'm in the bathroom right here, and this is the bathroom I'm going to be skim coating and doing a decorative coating. And I'm not really concerned about mold or mildew growth in this entire bathroom. This is a really small bathroom. It has a fan, it has really good ventilation. There's just some spots over in the corner up high. I'm just going to be spot priming it with a spray can. These things got excellent hide. You could spray at any angle, and they're great for small projects and just doing touch-ups. So it's just a simple little bomb can of the same type of product that's going to kill, because what I'm really just concerned about is whatever's there, just killing it, and then just talking to the customer and encouraging them to make sure they use their fan and use it regularly in the bathroom. So this is the corner that I'm going to be just doing some spot priming. There's a few spots up here I was just a little bit concerned about. So I'm going to be masking this. I'm going to just take some plastic. I'm going to be masking this entire bathroom, but just to do this spot priming, I like using frog tape. I don't want anything bleeding, any type of primer, paint bleeding onto my tile. Frog tape is the best tape you can use. This will stop any type of bleeding or paint getting underneath your tape. So I'm just going to mask this off quickly right here. I'm using a 72-inch masking film. I'm gonna drop this, and then we're gonna do some skim coating in this bathroom to apply a metallic finish in here. The ceilings are going to be painted white and left with their texture, but the walls are going to be skim coated and be flat. So I've got my primer. I want to shake this up really good. Drop plastic so I don't get any overspray on anything. And once again, I don't want to prime things that don't need to be primed. These walls, everything's fine, but once again, I'm doing some mold remediation or killing of mold. Now just spraying this stuff on here, that's gonna kill this mold and stop it from growing in these areas that I'm spraying it on. If it was mold. So, you know, I just suspect that it might be, but I wasn't sure. So it's done. So now I'm gonna let that set for 30 minutes. It'll be dry to the touch in 30 minutes. I can top coat. I can start painting the ceilings in 72 hours, or in an hour. I need to paint, you know, within 72 hours. If I don't, the effects of it inhibiting the growth might be affected. So make sure you top coat it in 72 hours. All right, so I'm in the third bathroom and I'm dealing with possibly a mold or mildew issue in this third bathroom. It's a tiny little bathroom. It's got a little bay back here where the shower is, and that's where moisture can build up, condensation on the ceiling or walls, and it can stay for a long period of time because this bathroom is also in a basement. So I did do my research. I wanted to make sure I was using the right product and a good product that's gonna kill and inhibit mold or mildew in these areas. And so I read a lot about this product, the Zinsser's mold killing or blocking primer, and I wanted to make sure I can use it where I was going to use it and it's going to be convenient and easy to use. And I had to type up a list because there was a huge list of places you can use it. So I'm just going to read it off the list. You can use it in factories. You can use it in warehouses, storage facilities. Now, my thought when it comes to storage facilities, I had multiple kids in college, and we were moving kids in and out of storage facilities all the time. So there's been several times where the storage facilities had water or moisture issues and there is mold or mildew on the walls. Great place to actually apply this product to resolve that problem. Refrigerated storage facilities, which could have moisture, office buildings, residential living facilities, bathrooms and basements are two of those right here: residential living, schools, hospitals, veterinary care facilities, and that could be like around washing or cleaning of pets areas in those type of facilities, elderly care facilities, prisons and correction facilities, which has got showers and washrooms in those type of facilities. Also, wash houses, which is basically self-explanatory because of moisture, restaurants, and that could be around dishwashing areas or cleaning areas. Fitness centers. So all fitness centers typically have locker rooms and shower rooms, and you could have moisture issues there, or fungi actually, or odor causing bacteria in those areas. That is very self-explanatory. Locker rooms, once again, attics. So in my painting career, I've been in multiple attics, and attics are notorious for having moisture-related issues because of leaky roofs or being around moisture-related climates around like coastal areas. So basements inherently underground. They could be down around the water table, could have a lot of moisture. So basements are a great place for this product. Window frames. Now, window frames, I've got a cabin and I've also got a house that's single pane windows, and moisture actually builds up on those windows, and it actually runs down the window, gets on the window sills, and in the winter times it keeps moisture on there for extended periods of time, which could cause mold or mildew growth. So you want to try to eliminate the whole issue to begin with when it comes to those windows, and that would be installing double pane windows so you don't have the condensation anymore. That's what I did in my cabin. It relieved it. Bathrooms. So that's, once again, we've talked about bathrooms. Lack of ventilation in showering is going to cause issues, but prime with a product that kills or helps eliminate the issue. Wall cavities, baseboards, subfloors. Now, I pulled up on subfloors, I pulled up carpets and laminate flooring in the past that had mold or mildew growth underneath it, and it's some type of moisture related issue, obviously, but you can roll your subfloors or paint your subfloors with this product, and there you're going to have a killer and an inhibitor in the future. And even tabletops tops out the list of everything that was on this can where you can use this product. Very versatile, absolutely unbelievable where you can use it. All right, I'm in the first bathroom I'm going to be working on, and I'm going to be just doing some painting in this bathroom, and we're going to be priming with our primer in the bathroom. So I do got to take some things off. I've got a towel bar. I got to take some things off. I got my tool bag with me that I keep with me on once I start my painting, so I can just take things off, have my tools with me at all times. I'm going to remove the towel bar. I don't ever like to mask around these things. I like to just remove as many fixtures as I can to do my painting. So I'm going to pull the towel bars off, and anything else I can pull off. I'm also going to be taking off my light switch, light plates, and outlet plate covers. And then I'm a big fan of socket blockers, and I'll show you what those are. Instead of using tape, I use socket blockers to cover my outlets and cover my switch plates. And socket blockers are one of those for painters by painters tools that was created by a painter. So if you want to support your fellow painters and some amazing inventions, then we got some. There we go. We'll turn that fan off there. We're messing around with our lights and fans and stuff, messing up my video, but take off the switch plates. It's again, for painters by painters. You can support those guys out there inventing amazing tools that make our job a lot easier. So here's socket blockers. I'll show you how simple and easy they work. Come in 6 packs or 30 packs. So here's a box of socket blockers right here, and it's just a simple little plastic device that is reusable, so you can reuse it multiple times. I've used them, 3 times, up to 3 times without having an issue. So it's got a double-sided tape. You just stick it over your switch plate right there. Now you're not going to get any paint over your switch plate. Very fast, easy, simple to use. And it also looks very professional. What's interesting, I did have one of our Paint Life Mafia members come into our Paint Life Supply Co store the other day, and he said he was using socket blockers, and a customer walked by and was very impressed with the socket blockers, and he ended up getting another job because of it, because how professional he looked while using the product. So you can see they're a double-sided tape. They stick and just remove just like that, and you can remove or reuse it. Now I can stick it right back on. You can restack them and reuse them once again. Socket blockers. So I do have some masking I gotta do in this area. I do use frog tape. Once again, a big believer, best tape you ever created, invented is frog tape. And it does, once again, it's the only tape that actually has a polymer on the outside edge of the tape that swells up and doesn't allow any liquid or any moisture to bleed underneath it. So I'm gonna apply my tape so I don't get any primer or paint on my door jamb. Gonna mask my baseboards down here also and move right along. All right, so some of the tools I'm gonna be using to apply my primer, I'm gonna be using a Blue Tiger roller with a 9-inch 3/8-inch white woven roller from Premier, the Woven Pro. I'm also going to be using a 4-inch 3/8-inch Woven Pro from Premier to apply my primer. Also, I'm going to be using interior brush I use is a Premier Montauk. I always use on my interior painting and exterior painting a 3-inch angled sash brush. So those are some of the simple tools that I use when painting. I do like having a tough gaff with me all the time. That way I can have my tape while I'm prepping all the time. Always have my tool bag. I'm going to be using a hand masker to be masking some walls and some trim and stuff with 1-inch tape and 9-inch paper or 72-inch masking film. And you did see the socket blockers that I also use to cover up my outlets, switch plates, and covers. So those are the tools along with some drop cloths. I do have a 2 to 4 foot extension pole that I'll be rolling in here. And that's kind of the major tools that I'll be using on this simple project of priming and painting the walls in this bathroom. All right, before I get started painting with my brush, I'm gonna do one thing, and that's install a brush buddy. This brush doesn't have one on. I usually have it on most of my brushes, and nowadays, these things are absolutely amazing. This is a product that falls in my category of For Painters by Painters. The guy that makes this is a carpenter and a painter. This is an absolutely amazing product. It's a copper brush holder, best brush holder I've ever used. It's very simple and easy to use and install. You just put it on your brush, and it's gonna keep your brush from falling in your paint or going in your paint. And it's a great little product. So I do have to change a drill bit to put it on. It's got really tiny screws. So in my tool bag, I keep drill bits and all kinds of tools that I use. And that's what's nice about having a tool bag with you, is you always got your tools with you at all times. So now I'm just gonna install this brush buddy, and you can install it wherever is convenient for you. And what is convenient for me is right there. 2 screws. And this thing will be permanently installed. And what's nice about the brush buddy is it is copper, it's bendable, and it's reusable. So once this brush is no good anymore, you could remove it, install it on another brush. So just like that, it will hang on your bucket. So now it's not gonna be in your paint and creating a big mess. This is the brush buddy. It's an absolutely amazing tool. You won't regret it if you buy one. I'm gonna finish my prepping, and then we'll begin installing or actually rolling our walls. So I'll be masking down here, frog tape, 9-inch paper, so I don't get any of these splatters on my floor. I'll be masking some nice, crisp, straight lines. I do like to dust off my baseboards before I do any masking. So I'll be using my brush to do the dusting with. Try to make sure you get nice, sharp corners Down here, you can use a knife to cut your corners to get really sharp corners. If you need to do any folding, tacking, just tack your tape or paper down. I do use frog tape, orange production tape, where I'm not concerned about paint bleeding through. If you're spraying, it's really important to tack these corners down so they don't flop up when you're spraying. So I'm going to continue masking my baseboards and then we'll start rolling our walls. So I'm going to begin rolling my walls with a primer in this bathroom. I'm going to be rolling, quite a bit of the bathroom in here. Once again, you don't have to roll and prime anything that doesn't necessarily need to be primed, but I'm a little bit concerned long term with mold mildew growth in this bathroom, so I'm going to prime the majority of it. I'm just going to load up a 9-inch pan, deep well professional pan that holds more paint or primer than a standard pan. I don't ever use those really small pans that are basically do-it-yourself pans. Use a deep well pan. Now I'm just going to be you don't need to roll 2 coats of primer. We're just going to be rolling 1 coat of primer. This product covers extremely well. We're not after coverage, we're after killing and inhibiting mold, mildew, moss, fungi, or odor causing bacteria. Have an odor problem. This is going to seal or kill any odor causing bacteria. I'll be testing this out to see how well it hangs, whether it splatters a lot also. So it'd actually be a good place for a corner plus roller, which would fill those corners in right there, and I wouldn't have to fill them in with a brush. I don't have to worry about laying my paint out either. This is just a primer, so you can just apply it in any random method. It's always good to practice good practices when it comes to painting. So putting your paint on, and I like to lay out from top to bottom if I'm laying out my paint. Once again, I'm going to be doing the ceilings in here too, so I can take it all the way up to the ceiling and hit the ceiling, and I can begin rolling my ceilings also. You can see over this dark color how well this white actually covers. And now that I'm painting with it, I can begin to smell the paint, and I'm sure there's chemicals in there that stop mold, mildew, stuff like that. But this is not too strong of a smell. It's not overwhelming. I've only been painting with it for a little while, but I painted with products that I've actually put into paint, mold killing products, and man, they smelled really bad. This doesn't smell bad at all. It's a little bit stronger than your average paint. So I'm just cruising right along and applying it. I don't want to hit my frog tape on my first coat or my primer coat. You can see my socket blockers right there. I don't have to worry about it. I can just go right up and hit those socket blockers. I'm not going to get anything. You can see I'll get nothing on my sockets. It doesn't matter if I hit them or not. And that right there is really good coverage with my primer. Definitely want to fill in my corners. And I'm going to be doing in here a paint that I'll be top coating it with 2 coats. But I do want to top coat this within 72 hours. Now I'm just going to be filling in my corners. So coverage on this, you get this product, you get 450 or 400 to 450 square feet per gallon. So it does go a long ways. You only need to coat one time. You don't need two coats, just one coat. And it does dry and cure fully and bond to the surface in 7 days, but you do have to top coat over it within 72 hours. So I'm just cruising right along. I'm using my Montauk brush, and I'm not gonna get right up next to or actually hit my tape right now until I do my final coat, but I'm going to, get all these areas that are close to the tape. If you do hit the tape, it's not that big a deal. The frog tape is there to protect you, but I always like to hit my tape with my paint and pull it while it's dry or while it's wet. Don't confuse that. Pull it while it's wet. That way you don't get any shark's teeth or bridging from your paint, from your tape to your wall. I do like to do my cut-ins. If I'm using a brush, I do like to use a corner plus roller whenever I can. But I do, once I brush it, I do like to go back over it with a roller, and it gives it the same texture as when you're rolling the wall, because if you roll it here, it stipples it. You brush it here, it's gonna leave brush strokes either up or down. It's gonna look different. You're gonna have what we call texture flashing. It's gonna look different from the different textures that it leaves. So a lot of people are asking me, what the heck, why am I going back over it with a 4-inch roller when I don't need to, when I've already applied the paint with a brush. That's one of the good reasons for a corner plus roller, with doing these corners like that. I used a brush, so I need to go back over it to what we call eliminate the brush strokes. It's same with down the edges. If I do it up against the door jamb, same thing. Eliminate your brush strokes by using a 4-inch roller. Once again, this is a Woven Pro Premier 4-inch 3/8" roller, and these are lightly textured walls. We call it a knockdown texture. I wouldn't call it a heavy texture. So this is the roller I'm using. It absolutely works great. So we'll see. It's only been maybe 10 minutes. See if it's almost already dry. It's that fast, and it's drying. It's not even close to being 30 minutes, and almost dry to the touch. So I've got this whole wall rolled right here, all done. Now just looking at splatters, I put my 9-inch paper down here, got a few splatters, and I gotta say it doesn't splatter a whole lot, but there is a little bit of splatter, which I would expect with a primer. So make sure you have your drop cloths, and also I have always used drop cloths and paper, not just drop cloths and tape. Just for this, I got a few spots out here that if it was just tape, it would have missed, and then it's just an insurance that it doesn't get on your floor, even though you have a drop cloth down there. So there you have it, 3 steps on mold remediation, how to get rid of mold, how to kill mold, odor-causing bacteria or fungi. If you got any tips or tricks how to deal with these annoying substances yourself, leave it down in the comment section below. If you've enjoyed this video, if it's helped you in any way, think about giving us a thumbs up. We would really appreciate it. It helps us keep making these videos and be enthusiastic about doing so. Also, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell right next to it. If you subscribe and don't hit the notification bell, you'll never get notified. It won't mean anything by hitting the subscribe button without the notification bell. Hit them, bang them, slam them, do whatever you got to do. Hit them both. It's free, easy to do. And like we always say, hopefully we'll see you on our next video. Out.